All right. Good morning, everyone, and happy Easter to all of you. This is Gary Ryan with today's Fed League Flash, and we're going to make this a little bit of a shorter one. Obviously, we all want to have our Easter celebrations with our family and friends, and so we are going to cover things, but we'll brief it up. Okay. Last night we had 5 games. Didn't clarify anything on the playoff picture again, but that's okay. First game that was over for the night, Binghamton completed a 10-game sweep of Delaware in the season series with an 8-5 win over the Delaware Thunder. Uh, Justin Samaro, Gavin Yates, and Don Oliveri each had 2 goals on the night. As well, Marquise Grant and Antiste also had 2 goals, and an assist for Delaware. Uh, there was kind of a dual goaltender situation going on for Binghamton. Taylor Joseph played the first 2 periods, and then Jeremy Forget came in for the third. It's been a while since he's gotten some game time, so that was a deliberate move by the Black Bears. No injury or anything like that for Joseph, just getting Forget some game time. 50 shots on goal for Binghamton for the night, and so that was that. It didn't have any impact on the standings at all. A game that did have a tremendous impact was Carolina and the Columbus River Dragons. Carolina traveling down to Georgia, and they took 3 points tonight. Last night, 3-1, a very decisive win for the Thunderbirds. Boris Babic stood on his head, saved 44 out of 45 possible shots, lost a shutout bid with just 36 seconds left in 46 seconds, in the game. And meanwhile, Jacob Schnapp and John Batista both had a goal and assist. Schnapp's goal was the game winner, shorthanded too. And so Carolina takes now a 1 point lead in the Continental Division standings. Those 2 teams, again, play twice more next weekend to play for all the marbles, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so again, Carolina is now in first place in the Continental Division by a single point. Meanwhile, Mississippi uh, got back on their winning ways the last 2 days. They took care of business, taking care of the Motor City Rockers. Last night it was a 7-4 count. So Motor City's magic number to clinch third place in the Continental Division seedings is still 1. Um, it was just very strange. Motor City had no coaching staff this weekend. Danny Vanderweel served as player coach last night. It's just kind of a curious move. So anyway, that aside, a couple of things to highlight for Mississippi. First, Yanni Lariakos, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. He becomes the second player to join the 100-point club, of course, joining Gus Ford from Carolina. So right now, Lariakos stands at 101 points on the year. Not to be outdone, here it is. Yaroslav Yevdokimov, 2 goals, 2 assists himself. He reaches the 50 goal plateau. In case you're wondering, the record for goals in the season is 60. So I think that's pretty much safe. 98 points altogether for Yevdokimov. So he will probably join the 100-point club next week as well. So there will be 3 in the Fed that reach 100 points this year, which is pretty cool. The big celebration, though, goes to Joe Pace, who last night played in his 500th FPHL game. That doesn't mean 500 Pro. That's just in the Fed. In addition, Pace has also played a substantial number of games in the SPHL. I believe his count is up to 633 now. Um, I'll have to double check that, but so nice long career for Joe Pace, um, really representing single A hockey. So congratulations to Joe, 500 games. That is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, consider Molovac doesn't even have 500 games in the Fed, so that's incredible. All right, so for Motor City, news wasn't all bad. Declan Conway had 2 goals, and he now leads the league in power play goals scored with 11. Uh, so he jumps over, uh, uh, Tyler Jurich from Binghamton. All right, uh, Port Huron, they shut out Watertown, making the trip up north 4-0 in favor of the Prowlers in Wallace. Played a beautiful game with a 46 save shutout performance. And Liam Freeborn got himself a hattie, one of 3 players to get a hat trick last night. We mentioned Lariakos before, and now Liam Freeborn. His final goal was an empty net shorthanded goal. So now Watertown has dipped to 1-8-1 in their last 10, really limping into the playoffs. Their playoff bid is locked up. Um, so things not looking good there. But again, one good piece of news for Watertown. Their magic number gets reduced to 4 for clinching third because Danbury handles Elmira 8-5. So Elmira really running out of time quickly here. Danbury, third hat trick of the night. This one from Michael Marquezin, but wait, there's more. He actually scored 4 goals on the night. Also added an assist. His third goal was the game-winning goal. Lucas DeBenedette had 2 goals and 3 assists, so 5 points for him as well. This game was all about penalties, penalties, penalties. Lots and lots of penalties. And the one odd note for Danbury is no power play goals. They've struggled all year on the power play, which is very strange. But they're doing pretty good in 5-on-5, so I don't think they mind all that much. 60 shots on goal for Danbury. So again, Thomas Proudluck stands on his head for Elmira, making 52 saves. 52 saves on 59 shots because the final goal by Marquezin was an empty netter. Luke Richards, 2 goals and 2 assists for Elmira against his former club. Very nice performance by him. And just a little something to note, collegian Joshua Sanchez, who has been a wonderful find for Elmira, he now has a 6-game point streak. He's played 6 games, so he's scored in every game since becoming pro. So Sanchez is off to a fine start in his career, and congratulations to him. All right, so this takes us to Wednesday. Very, very important game. Really is going to have a major impact on the standings one way or another, and is going to provide a little more clarity in the Empire Division standings. Watertown is traveling to Elmira. This is a makeup game from back in December when the weather outside was frightful. And Elmira is hosting that game. This is kind of a play-in game. Now, if Watertown wins, either regulation win, shutout win, or shootout win, overtime win, doesn't matter. If they win, they clinch the 3rd seed and the opportunity to take on the Binghamton Black Bears, and Elmira would be relegated to taking on Danbury in the playoffs. So here we go with the board. Let's see if we can position this. All right. So I've kind of paired off the races at this point. Again, you see Carolina and Columbus going neck and neck there. I put a note there as far as tiebreakers with a question mark. These guys are about as even as possible, the Thunderbirds and the River Dragons. This is a home and home, and so this is not going to be decided until Sunday night, or Sunday rather, unless Carolina wins in regulation on Friday night. That would clinch the division for them. So yeah, one win regulation time is a lockup for the first seed for Carolina. Now in the race for third and fourth, this is really not a race. Motor City still needs that 1 point. They've got a 5-point cushion on Port Huron, and I'm not taking anything away from Mississippi, but I think we can safely say Port Huron has the tougher opponent. All right. In the Empire Division, Danbury, as you see, they have locked up the number 1 seed, and they are the regular season champs in the Fed. That is just mathematically locked up now. Binghamton locked into number 2, awaiting the winner, I guess you'd say, between Watertown and Elmira. Watertown with that 6-point cushion, 3 games to play, and the 1 being head to head. Now, Watertown, after taking on Elmira, they finish out against Delaware, while Elmira does a home and home against the Binghamton Black Bears. So, okay, this is if the playoffs started right now. Okay, we would have Carolina as top seed over Port Huron, the River Dragons taking on the Rockers, Hat Tricks versus the Mammoth, and the Black Bears and the Wolves. All right, and so yeah, just a note there: any win again by Watertown on Wednesday clinches third place, and that solidifies the seedings there. All right, so to finish off, I'm just going to mention with tomorrow, we are going to feature a little preview and breakdown of that Wednesday battle between the Wolves and the Mammoth. We're also going to talk a little bit more on the continual fight to save the Thunder. I've been in very close contact with a lot of Thunder fans and everything that they're doing in their efforts to try and save the team. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And any transaction news that might come through the wire, we will let you know. At this point, there are really no roster moves. The only moves would be any kind of injuries, which would preclude a player from playing in the playoffs, or any suspensions, which there could be a couple, but we will wait and see on that. All right, so that concludes this episode of the Fed League Flash. Again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. We will have another video tomorrow, and then the next video will be next Friday. All right, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will do our best to put together a broadcast on Spotify, audio only. Make sure to go to Spotify, download the app, follow me at Fed League Flash there. All right, thank you again for all your support. This is Gary Ryan, again wishing you all a happy Easter, and we will see you again tomorrow.